Hey guys, it's Melone back at you with another video on the ASL YouTube channel. Today we are here with week 8, season 8 of the weekly recap. So let's get right into it. The first battle of the week is going to be the Bracknell Beedrills versus the PC Barcelona. Shadow's going to pick up the 4-0 win over Splurge, allowing him to move up to 3-5 -5 and in a slightly better position for playoffs. Ignore the thing on the screen, that's not important. So let's get right into the battle. So Shadow's gonna lead off with Zero Aura on Splurge's thing, but he does not want to get hit by a fire punch, so he switches out into Claydol, which allows Claydol to probably set up rocks here. Goes for Psychic, does nothing to Porygon 2. And Porygon 2 misses the Toxic, then goes for Hidden Power Fire, probably gonna get knocked off, yep. Leaving his Porygon 2 a lot less helpful without that Eviolite. Just gonna recover up though and get Toxic by the Suicune. Splurge is gonna allow his own Suicune to get Toxiced, unfortunately. Shadow then makes a play into Zeraora, risking the Scald Burn, but he does gain momentum. He then doubles into Aromatisse, most likely to gets Aromatherapy up on Porygon 2's poisoning. This Claydol looks to be maybe even like an offensive set because it's only going for Psychic. But now that Porygon 2 has been knocked off, it looks like he's going to make that his switch into Escavalier. Suicune's going to come in on the Porygon 2 Tri-Attack and take a Scald to the face, taking no damage. Gets a burn, but that is what happens when you use Scald, so no big deal. Splurge is going to save his Suicune and go into Aerodactyl, which gets burned, which really sucks for Splurge. That's really unfortunate. Definitely would have been able to do a lot more damage to this P2. So he's probably going to switch out. Yep, goes into Superior, takes a Tri-Attack. Not greatly, but he takes it. Goes for the Leech Seed, but gets Toxic. Shadow goes out into Aromatisse on the sub from Superior, but it looks like this Toxic is going to wear down the Superior a lot, as Aromatisse is just going to probably Wish Spam until the Superior dies. Goes for the Leech Seed, predicting a switch maybe, I'm not sure. Looks like it has one more turn of hits, so it goes for Leaf Storm, but doesn't hit, so that's unfortunate also. Sorry about that. Porygon 2 is going to come in and straight up die to the Iron Head without its Eviolite. But Shadows gets to go into Zero Aura and get momentum. Goes for Hidden Power Fire, but it looks like he'll be able to do whatever he wants as long as he's not choice locked. Splurge makes a nice double into Claydol though and gets more momentum back, but the Claydol is just completely walled by Aromatisse at this point. Moonblast does 16% to Scavalier, which basically means something's going to take an Iron Head. Or a knockoff, I guess, maybe predicting the Kartana. Not sure. Looks like this might be a Scarfed or not Scarfed, a Banded Escavalier or something. Choice locked in some way, and not Specs. Aerodactyl's gonna come in and not be able to do that much because of the burn. It looks like he's just gonna sack it off to Shadow. And Shadow heals up to almost full. This allows the Escavalier to come back in and probably go for the Iron Head finally. And Shadow's gonna be able to switch into something that takes it better. The Splurge makes a nice play and goes into Claydol, makes a double into Escavalier, predicting a switch, but does not predict correct. Shadow's going to block off the leftovers from the Zygarde, which reveals to be Coil. Interesting set. Wonder if it's Z-move. Does not look like to be Z-move, but instead he went for Glare, which is a bit confusing if he was gonna kill, but it is what it is. So Speaking's gonna come in and get a revenge kill, but that looks like it's gonna be the final kill for Splurge in this battle, as Kartonic is gonna come in and sweep the rest of the battle, picking up 2 kills. So next battle is going to be the Riverside Otters versus Carolina Pancham, and Robert is going to pick up the 5-0 victory, moving him to 7-1 plus 25, and moving Brett to 1-7 minus 17. I also have realized that my weekly heroes are not on there, so that's okay. They're old weekly heroes, so. Anyways, let's get into the battle. We've got Lando versus Weavile. Definitely not the starting matchup Robert wanted, so he's gonna switch out into Toxapex, take the Icicle Crash very nicely. As Brett goes hard into Manectric. Gets off basically probably a Volt Switch here, I'm assuming. Although, you know, maybe he didn't bring it because of that Lando. Goes for Snarl, interestingly enough, so the Cryogonal's not going to have any special attack, but it knocks off on the Metagross switch in and knocks off the Sugar Berry, which is definitely nice for Robert. Bisharp and Mudsail come in on the same turn, so Robert's going to want to switch back out into something. It goes into Lando, but that allows Brett to get up his rocks. Robert then gets up his rocks next turn and takes only 22 damage from the Mudsdale, so he's looking good right now, and he goes for Supersonic Sky Strike as the Delmize comes in, so that is a dead Mon. Brett makes a nice double on the Cryogonal switch in though. It's forcing it to switch out and take more rocks damage. And he goes for Thunder Punch, predicting the Toxapex. Robert's gonna Pursuit Trap the Metagross and bring it down. So, oh. Cryogonal's gonna come in on the Earthquake because it does have Levitate. It's gonna go for Rapid Spin, get off the rocks, but might die here. Yep. But it seems like that was the intention of Robert, just to get off the rocks. Lando's gonna come in and go for Fly, which I'm kind of confused at why. He went into Lando and why Brett didn't go for rocks the first turn, but it eventually happened. And so the rocks are back up, and Cryogonal's dead for no reason. But that being said, Robert's still in a great position, and he basically forced Mudsdale to sack itself for rocks. Brett sacks his Manectric, I guess, to the Earthquake, and lets Weavile come in and maybe get a free kill, except for he overpredicts and goes for Night Slash. This lets Robert go into Toxapex and get a basically just tank the hit and win the game with Toxapex at this point. Nothing Brett can really do about this thing. The only thing on his team that could deal with it was Mega Manectric. And sometimes matchups are just gonna be that way. But it is what it is. It looks like it might take a second here to finish with the battle. Robert was trying to get the kill with Alakazam, but he did not want to risk getting Aqua Jetted, so he goes back out into Toxapex. And that is going to be the battle once Robert finally kills it. And it is dead now. And Lando is also a weekly hero this week, I believe. So the next battle is going to be the St. Louis Samurats versus the Intermilotics. The Intermilotics are going to pick up a 2-0 win, moving them to 3-5 minus 8, and moving Brad to 5-3 plus 6. No weekly recap, weekly heroes this game. Yeah, so Shaven comes out on the Crocodile lead, allowing it to get a free Toxic here. But Static does have to switch out on the Tornadus. Looks like Brad's gonna get off of a kill on the Sylvalia on turn 3, which is gonna be very nice. Looks like Static did not expect the Z move. Stunfisk is gonna come in, however, and get up the rocks for Static, which is gonna be nice. The Shaman comes in on the Earthquake, but I will say it did not take that super nicely. And gets off a Seed Flare on this Tentacruel, which does have the Black Sludge. Static goes for it again, which really sucks for him because that would have allowed him to kill next turn, but it's alright. He's gonna switch into what I can presume is an Assault Vest set, and fortunately, he gets burned. Might suck if he's physical, but I don't know if he is. Doesn't look like he is. Diance's then gonna come in and probably set up rocks, but the Vaporeon comes in on that and starts setting up acid armor, making it pretty much indestructible at this point. Looks like it'll have to wear it down some way. He has stored power, doing nothing to Diversion with the Pyapa Berry. So after 2 Swords Dance and Reflect, oh, and he has Synthesis, which means that he'll be able to get off a very strong hit against this Vaporeon, assuming no hacks. He's going for Synthesis, trying to keep this thing alive, but he gets crit, and it looks like this is... Oh, he's just going to keep Synthesizing. Another Acid Armor for Static allows stored power to do even more damage. And I'm not... Maybe he's trying to PP stall. I'm not sure. Finally forced into close combating. And he eventually does. Crocodile comes in and tries to knock off its healing, but it really does not do much. And this Vaporeon goes for a Wish. Goes for stored power, but does nothing to this Diancie, so that might be where it forces, or not forces. He does have Scald though, which is going to allow him to do a lot more damage to this Diancie. Brad goes into the Tentacruel, really just trying to find a way to break this Vaporeon at this point. Sludge Wave comes off and does 20, so Vaporeon's really just sitting and destroying Brad's team right now, but as you can tell by the score of the battle, it does not stay this way. Gets poisoned from Sludge Wave, which is definitely unfortunate. But he's still staying in on it. But it looks like he might die if the rolls are not nice enough. Brad's gonna go out into Tornadus to take the 1 stored power and probably kill with Hurricane here, which it does. So Brad is able to get that out of the way, but not at the cost, or at the cost of a lot of health on a lot of his mons. Icy Wind comes out doing not really anything to this Stunfisk, and it looks like Tentacruel's gonna come in and spin away the rocks, but Static is looking in a nice position here. Looks like he's gonna sack his Hoopa to the Crocodile and go into Shaman. Gets off a free Seed Flare. Maybe could have switched into Charizard, but not sure. Looks like he's gonna sack his Shaman here just to get off a lot of damage. Brad goes for the sub, but really he can't do anything with that sub, so looks like Static's in a good position to here win if his Typhlosion is scarfed, which I guess it isn't, but it does have Z Sunny Day and it's gonna live, so it looks like Static is gonna sweep with Z Sunny Day. Very close game, but Static is gonna pick up the 2-0 win. Next battle, sorry about that, is going to be the Washington Red Skitty versus the Hartford Whalmers. Matt is going to pick up a 6-0 win against Hartford Whalmers, with Crobat getting all 6 of the kills. So let's get right into it. Kangaskhan, Mega Kangaskhan is going to be the lead for TCP versus Raikou. Raikou's going to Volt Switch on out of there just to not take any damage on the Miltank switch in, which tanks that crunch. Looks like TCP is going to have to switch out, and he does that and goes into Mariachi the Jirachi, but he does get set up on by rocks, so now both teams have rocks set up. Matt's going to go for the Shadow Ball and do a relatively small amount of damage to this Jirachi, considering it is super effective. Gonna Volt Switch on out of there again from the Mega Kangaskhan. This time it goes for Wish. Mega Scissors going to click knockoff on the Protect. Sorry about that. Matt U-turns on the Rotom Heat Switch in and goes into Nihilego and allows him to probably get off a free move. If he goes for Earth Power, he'd be a legend. Or if he goes for that, he'd be a legend. Because it looks like he's going to be able to kill it or something. Foul Play comes off, does not do that much to Kangaskhan. Crobat comes in predicting an Earthquake. And goes for the Nasty Plot. And it looks like this is where Matt wins. Heat Wave comes off and kills the Jirachi. Rotom Heat's gonna come in, probably die to a Sludge Bomb. This is not looking good for TCP, as we can see. The Seismitoad doesn't kill and dies to Giga Drain. No flinch. Wow. Sludge Bomb's gonna kill. Looks like Sludge Bomb's gonna kill the next couple mons. I guess Giga Drain will kill the Golem. And Matt is going to win that 6-0 with Crobat being a weekly hero. Next battle, the Human Scolipede versus the Winston Weaviles. Ian is going to pick up a 1-0 win over Sketch, just barely edging it out. Beedrill becoming a weekly hero, I believe, as well. Which again are not up on the screen. I'm sorry about that. Unless TCP does editing, because why wouldn't he do that? But anyways, yeah, this moves Ian to 6-2 plus 11, and Sketch moves to 7-1 plus 25, which hands him his first loss of the season, but he's still sitting nice in first place. So, into the battle, we have Braviary versus Kecleon. Kecleon goes for the Fake Out, and then goes into Gligar, not wanting to take a lot of damage. U-turn does nothing but gives Ian the momentum. Goes into Amistar and gets up the rocks. And then goes into Clefable and gets paralyzed, which is definitely going to be annoying. Clefable gets fully paralyzed. The Sketch goes into the Heatran and gets up rocks, but the Hydreigon's going to get off a free move. Goes for Dark Pulse, does small amount to Kecleon. Skedaddles on out of there into Clefable because it knows it can take any hit. And also right now has a super effective matchup, although obviously it won't if he goes for another move or switches out. But he just goes for Drain Punch, interestingly enough. But Ian goes for Hidden Power, probably Hidden Power Ground. So Tapu Bulu is going to come in on the Thunder Wave, which is a nice play by Ian. Gets off a huge buff to Tapu Bulu. Looks like Ian goes into Amistar, maybe to sack it off. Definitely to sack it off, as it dies. Sorry about that. Beedrill is going to then come in for free. Probably maybe go for knockoff and getting off an Eviolite, but it doesn't. It does this turn though, and does get a crit, which is going to be very annoying for Sketch as Sketch goes for Roost, so not the end of the world for Sketch. Beedrill does go for U-turn though, and gets into Hydreigon. But Sketch goes for knockoff, maybe predicting a switch, I'm not sure. And unfortunately his Gligar gets flinched, but that's what's going to happen when you go for the knockoff instead of Roost, unfortunately. This allows Gardevoir Gardevoir. Man, I should probably speak better. Allows Gardevoir to get a kill. Beedrill comes in on that, goes for Poison Jab. Heatran takes it like a champ because it's immune. And it looks like Heatran's going to get off a free hit. Flamethrower kills a Dugtrio instantly. Probably didn't matter because it's Dugtrio, but you never know. Beedrill's going to go in and crit this Heatran with the Shuka Berry. No idea if it mattered because it is 4 times effective, but never know. Fake out from the Kecleon comes out on this Clefable as it goes for the Moonlight healing up. Tapu Bulu gets off a free hit here, basically another free kill, but it gets paralyzed, which sucks. And Sked is forced to go into Kecleon, really just sack that thing off at this point. Probably go into Gardevoir and Revenge, or Hawlucha, which makes a lot more sense because Grassy trains up, go for the sweep. Acrobatics does not kill, and he goes into Clefable, does not need to get fully parried. Goes for Iron Head, does not do much at all, and instantly dies to the Moonblast. Tapu Bulu is then going to come in, and Ian's going to have to sack something. But he gets paralyzed, takes the Moonblast. Hopefully he doesn't get paralyzed again. He does not. Barely lives the recoil, although I don't think that really mattered, luckily, for the sake of hacks. Poison Jab's going to come out and kill. But I believe this Gardevoir is not going to be able to kill the Beedrill. I don't know if it was actually Scarfed, but it did outspeed Hydreigon earlier, so that was why I assumed it was Scarfed. But anyways, next battle. This is going to be the New York Muse versus the St. Louis Swablues, and Bash is going to pick up the 2-0 win over me, Melone, moving him to 5-3 +8, and me to 2-6 -16. Yay! No weekly heroes this game, so let's get into it. Flygon versus Incineroar lead, not my favorable matchup, you could say. So Bash is going to U-turn on my Piloswine, switch in, goes into Kong, probably goes for knockoff here as I switch into Cofagrigus. Take it pretty well, and I know that he's Guts now. Bash goes into the Milotic on my crit, Spadef lowering Shadow Ball, definitely unfortunate. But he doubles into Ferrothorn, or doubles into Honchkrow my Ferrothorn as I switch into Piloswine. Good play, I guess, but I don't know if he was actually predicting that. Goes for knockoff again, still takes it pretty well. Finally goes into Honchkrow as I rest. I believe I'm going to switch out here, hopefully not getting Pursuit Trapped. As he goes for Night Slash, gets a crit on my Piloswine. A little unfortunate, but it is Night Slash, so it is what it is. Finally get up my rocks and go for Charm on this, which allows him to do very little amount of damage. At this point, I didn't really want to go into Cofagrigus, probably should have, but it is what it is. Go for an Earthquake and do a good amount of damage to this Milotic. So I'm going to stay in and force it to recover. Going to switch out into Ferrothorn, hopefully as he recovers again. But he doesn't, and he gets a Scald Burn on my banded Ferrothorn, which renders it basically useless as he goes into this Cofagrigus, or not, as he goes into Kong. Goes for Drain Punch on my Cofagrigus, switch in. Doubles into Flygon as I'm sleeping still. Probably goes for the Earthquake. Nope, goes for Defog, trying to get rid of the rocks. Get him back up as he goes into Milotic. Go back out into Ferrothorn, but this burn basically means that I can't touch some of his mons. Goes into Flygon here, probably going to take a lot of damage from this Power Whip. 55% would be dead, but it is what it is because I decided to switch into a Scald because I'm stupid. Power Up is going to kill though after he goes for Defog. Really didn't want rocks up. I decided to sack off my Piloswine here because honestly it couldn't set up rocks on anything. So get it to go into Bruxas for free, make the double predicting the something. I think I was predicting the Milotic, but I really don't know. So I go for Calm Mind on this. revealing my set, which is not great, but going to Galvantula. I believed he was Scarf, so I doubled into Incineroar. Hopefully I go for U-turn here, yep. And I get to go back into Bruxish again. This time hopefully I'll actually click a move. Psychic Fangs does not kill, and I'm going to die to knockoff, so much for Bruxish. Galvantula is going to come in and go for Volt Switch, killing the Cofagrigus, but losing a lot of health. Unfortunately, my Incineroar did not have it. Intimidate, which I meant to put, so that sucks, but in some cases it doesn't matter like that. He makes a good play into the Ribombi on my U-turn, and I have to basically sack something, although I just go back into Incineroar, predicting a Hidden Power Fire. Go for no, please tell me I go for a U-turn. Nope, I don't. Okay. So he gets free of my lag switching. As I go for a knockoff, hitting off the Pixie Plate. Looks like he's just gonna try to sack his thing, but I go for a U-turn because that's what I did. This allows him to basically roost off for free with his Bombi. I go for Calm Mind, and I should have just kept setting up, but I went for Rest, which really sucks because he looks like he's gonna be able to go into Honchkrow for free. Get a Shadow Ball off, but it does not do much, so I'm gonna switch. I later calced that Night Slash actually didn't do that much to me, so I probably should have stayed in. Potentially could have won, potentially not. I'm gonna sack my burned Ferrothorn there, just explosion, get off a kill on whatever would like to get killed. Although it might not have killed some other things. He's gonna get the Moxie boost, allowing him to do a lot of damage to everything I have. And basically clean. Turns out I actually do live with my Incineroar, which I should have calced. But it is too late for that, and he's gonna revenge kill me with the Latios. So, final battle of the day is gonna be Texas versus Peach. Woodland Weavils versus the Dallas Mudsdales. Peach is gonna win 5-0 over Texas, and Noctowl is gonna be a weekly hero. Don't think I would ever have to say that, but that is what happens. So we're gonna just get into the battle. Texas leads Spiritomb and Peach leads Rotom Fan. Goes for a free Volt Switch. Although he did have Superior. Noctowl is gonna get burned, but it's in there. Noctowl is in there. And it goes for Psycho Shift. So already heat set by Peach. Texas doubles into Swampert on the Donphan, but Donphan's gonna go for Seed Bomb as Texas gets his rocks up. Goes into Spiritomb, probably predicting a rapid spin, and it's going to die to the Earthquake. Skarmory comes in, and Rotom Fan's gonna come in to take a hit. Takes the Brave Bird pretty well, and probably just goes for Volt Switch again. It actually goes for Defog, that makes a lot more sense. Texas goes for Thief, stealing the leftovers of the Rotom Fan. Goes for Hidden Power Grass, but gets up the rocks. He does kill the Rotom Fan, but Noctowl comes in and goes for a Hyper Voice. Incineroar goes in and U-turns on the Noctowl as it goes for Tailwind. And here comes the Muck on the Tapu Koko. Gonna go for a knockoff, dealing not that much damage to the Skarmory, but Skarmory can't really do that much back. And with the electric terrain, Thunder Punch is going to be doing a lot to this Skarmory, but he's forced to switch as Tailwind ends. Noctowl is going to get up another Tailwind probably. Nope, just goes for a Hyper Voice, does 42% to this Quillfish. Then goes for it again as Texas tries to set up his spikes, I guess, for maybe the Muck. Z Psycho Shift raises his special attack by 2 stages in Tailwind. He's gonna live the Aqua Jet and get off a kill, and probably another free kill. Okay, maybe not a free kill, but Texas goes for Roost, and this is gonna be another kill for the Noctowl. Tapu Koko's gonna come in and go for Calm Mind. Peach just goes for another Tailwind and is gonna die here to Hyper Voice. Or not, he's gonna go for Roost because he just wants to stay alive. And this is gonna allow the Noctowl to win the game. So, good set by Peach, and picks up the win with Noctowl being the final weekly hero. So that is going to be all for week 8 of the weekly recap. Thank you guys so much for watching, and